Today I want to make a video about a problem I experienced while trying to use a personal hotspot off of an iPhone. I'm currently using Visible, the $25 plan, which limits your hotspot to 5 megabits per second. You could also use the Visible Plus, which is a little bit more at $45, and it gives you a limit of 10 megabits per second. I have to scroll all the way down to specifications. Mention over here, 5 megabits per second for mobile hotspot, and what do you call it, 10 megabits. They say it's unlimited, but here's the problem. If this is my personal hotspot phone, which is an iPhone, and I try to connect to one device using the personal hotspot, it can connect to the first device. But now when I try to connect to the second device, I'll enter in the password and try to connect. This is the error that I get on my iPhone that's trying to connect. Unable to join iPhone testing. That's the second one is the name of my wireless SSID. And then it says the network is temporarily unavailable. Try again later. You can try again as much as you want later. The problem is with an iPhone as your personal hotspot, from what I've read, you can Google it. Under here, I googled iPhone hotspot visible wireless. I should put problems, but there are multiple threads where people can't connect to simultaneous devices, and they think it's because whatever service they're paying for, if it's legacy. But I think what it is, it's related to newer iPhones on newer iOS. It has a one device limit when you enable personal hotspot. If you try to connect to instead of an iPhone, let's say you have another, what do you call it? Let's say you first connected to this iPhone, so there's one connection, and now you want to connect to a second device, which is a Android phone. This is the error that you get, which is more clear. My Android phone, when I enter in the password and click connect, it does save the connection, but then it gives this message that access point temporarily full. So again, this is a limitation of the iPhone with Visible. I'm not aware of any workaround. There might be an app that lets you do this. We're not trying to go beyond in terms of service. They don't clearly state that there is a one device limit. And so, okay, so what's the fix? I thought this was really annoying because I originally bought Visible Plus so I could use it. My aunt, for my aunt who doesn't use the internet that much, she just needs to check her email and sometimes, go to Facebook on a few devices, 2 iPads and maybe a TV. She doesn't need to pay like $50 for home internet. She's fine with just a second line for $20 and then hotspotting. But here's the problem. Because you can only connect one at a time, you have to physically go onto the device. Let's say this is the device you've connected once. Unless you disconnect it, then you can't connect to the second device. So let me be clear. I start with my personal hotspot phone, which is this iPhone. I turn on personal hotspot. Now I connect to this first device, this iPhone over here. Okay, so these are connected. I'm surfing the internet on this first device through the personal hotspot. Now, if I try to connect to the second device, I can't use it. And even if I want to connect to a third device, I can't use it. It just won't let me connect because there's only a one device limit when you're using a iPhone. So to get it to work, my aunt's older, my uncle's older. They wouldn't know that. Okay, go into the wireless settings on this phone or device. It might not be a phone. It might be an iPad. It might be like a Roku. Go into the device. Disable the wireless. Okay, now you're good. Now take this phone and connect to the second phone. Because this is the wireless is now disabled. There's nothing connected to the personal hotspot. I can now connect to the second phone. Great, I have internet on the second phone. Okay, my aunt finishes using her internet on this phone or iPad or whatever it is. Now my uncle wants to use internet on his iPad or iPhone, but he can't. So then my aunt has to disconnect, go into wireless settings, disconnect, and once there are no devices connected to this personal hotspot, my uncle can connect to this third device. Does that, hopefully that makes sense. It's just not user friendly at all. And what do you call it? Maybe you could just turn off the phone, but some phones stay connected wirelessly. It's just a pain in the butt. Is there a fix? I don't think there is a fix. I think Visible is fine with this because I believe it's more of a software hardware limitation on iPhones. Now, if you have an Android phone, you can bypass this access point temporarily full problem. When I say if you have an Android phone, I have a Pixel phone somewhere around here. I don't know where I put it, but if you have a Pixel phone and you put your Visible SIM card into the Pixel phone and use it as I'm using a Pixel 3, and you enable the personal hotspot on the Pixel phone, it can share to multiple devices. So there's no problem with sharing to multiple devices. Again, your speed is capped at 5 megabits or 10 megabits per second, depending on which service plan you purchase, and that's 5 megabits total. 5 megabits total. So if you have 3 devices connected, you can only get a total of 5 megabits per 5 megabits per second speed. So it might share it at 2 megabits. You might share this at 2 megabits, and this might be 1 megabit. I don't know how it's going to do the sharing, but you can only get a total of 5. It's not 5 each device. And that's it. I just wanted to make this video because I saw the error, and I'm assuming some other people will see it, and they're gonna they're gonna Google it, and someone's gonna try to it's just, even reading the thread from Visible, they're not very clear. They mentioned that there's a 1 device limit somewhere here. Yeah, I can't find the official thing on their website, but they say that there's you can use it just with 1 device or something. Hopefully this clarifies things for some people. This might be true with other wireless carriers. This is the first time I've ever seen it, so it's very strange.